Hey everybody, SD here, and welcome to a little video that I'm putting together that compares State of Decay running on the Xbox One, and then we're going to take a look at it running on the Xbox One X. And one of the things that I noticed right here in this area is just the level of detail pertaining to the textures on the ground. So with that said, we're going to look at that. We're going to look at lighting. We're going to look at occlusion. We're going to look at the liaising. In order to do this, what I ended up doing was just basically doing like a real small mission. I didn't want to go into anything in great depth, but I really feel like the Xbox, as you can tell, held up pretty well. I mean, the lighting coming through off the sun as the sun is setting provided a good ambient aspect to the game. You can see how the light's bouncing off the cars, it's bouncing off the houses. So, I mean, lighting wise, I feel like the game does fairly well running on the launch Xbox. I feel like the textures look pretty damn good. There are frame rate issues. I mean, we're all aware of that. The game obviously was never fixed in that regard. So, as you're playing, the game will stutter from time to time. As you can tell, you have trees coming through the bed of the truck. You can see on the back of the bed of the truck here, you can see the liaising going on. But overall, I mean, I feel like the Xbox handles State of Decay fairly well. I mean, it's just a fun game overall to begin with. If you're looking at the ground in this area here, you can tell like it looks like the leaves, the textures on them are pretty well done. The grass seems to pop and stick out. So, I mean, overall, I feel like the game does a decent job. And we'll get into the X later on. We'll take a look at it. But as you notice right there, the lighting coming through the trees, bouncing in the house, that was one of the things that I kind of thought was pretty cool. You can see how, and once we get outside here in a second, just how well the lighting does a really good job of providing that glow, especially here as well in off the boards. So you can see the shadows, and some occlusion going on that provides a good sense of a color palette, good sense of depth. And then right here, the lighting coming off the hood of the truck. And then we'll pan around a little bit, and you can see on the side of this unfinished house just how it kind of pops a little in the front, and then on the back side it's a little darker. So obviously the lighting is working fairly well as far as pertaining to the sun and how it's reflecting off certain objects. And I thought this was a real pretty scene where the sun was coming through the trees there as we're driving back. So overall, I mean, I feel like the Xbox One, since that's what we're playing on to begin with, does a decent job. I mean, the textures on the ground, the grass are done fairly well. The textures on the house seem to be done fairly well. I mean, the game isn't perfect, and it's not going to be. But overall, just a really, I think it's just done okay. I mean, it's not too shabby. The big question is, how does the X enhance it in any way possible? See, it's starting to get dark now. You can kind of see the different shadowing, the different lighting inside the house itself. We'll go outside here, take a look around. You can see the textures on the rocks. You can see the grass is kind of popping in this area. You got the green, the different types of grass, and looks like possibly, not lily pads, but some clover. So we're going to load up the Xbox One X here in a second, and then we'll start taking a look at that and kind of see, how that compares to the launch Xbox. All right, so welcome back, and here we go with the Xbox One X. So the first thing that I noticed for me right off, and now it's already dark, is just how well the lighting on the sides of the buildings right here tend to pop out with the moonlight, and then just the shadow, and the game tends to feel a lot smoother overall as we're just walking around compared to just the overall feel of how it was with the launch Xbox. Now keep in mind, I used the same setup. We recorded this using the Elgato HD60. I didn't change any settings. I used the same TV. Everything is the same other than the system itself. So here when I'm panning, you can definitely see the lasing going on the bed of the truck and then on the roof line. So that wasn't fixed. But the textures on the ground tend to pop more from what I can tell. The leaves tend to pop more. The color palette is a little more vibrant. You can see the bark on the trees and the leaves under the trees, on the side of the trees. It just tends to feel a little bit more vibrant. Now, I wish that I was able to capture the same type of daytime cycle and nighttime cycle, because I feel like it would have given us a little bit better comparison. But unfortunately with State of Decay, I really don't have the ability that I know of to fast forward or reverse time. I mean, it's one of those to where you have to progress through the time cycle. There isn't sleeping that I know of as of yet. But with that said, I still feel like you can get a pretty good idea as I'm watching it of just how well and smooth the game runs compared to the launch Xbox. Now, is that to say that it's perfect? Absolutely not. You still get that initial frame rate stutter when you load the game up that was prevalent on the Xbox, the launch Xbox. You still get an occasional hiccup as you're driving around. And those things do happen. But as you can see right there, some fog that kind of rolled in. I thought that was kind of cool. Overall, I mean, it's just a really, really fun game to play. We're about to try to help this guy out here. It's actually pretty funny. We get into this and things don't go as planned as you're about to see. But even the animation and swinging, and you can tell like the detail on the ground here with all this dead grass that's kind of scattered around, it pops. To me, it pops. I visually see it, the different shades of green on the leaves. Look at the shading of the grass or the trees on the side of the truck, and then the moonlight that's bouncing off of it. You can just really see how it just boom, it stands out and makes it look that more immersive. At least that's the way I feel. It makes me feel like I'm just more immersed into the game. Yeah, now we got this big bastard right here that shows up, and things just don't really go well from here on out. My poor buddy is trying to help, but I'm over here trying to take out this guy, and as you see, he's down. And yeah, it's coming. And yeah, so as you can tell, he just gets ripped clean in half, and I'm like, oh, Jesus. Now, I don't know how I took this big bastard down with a baseball bat, but obviously it worked out fairly well. But I decided to go back, and I'm trying to look around. I'm thinking, you know what, I'm going to go check out this backpack, and then one zombie comes, two zombie comes, and here comes a third one over here. And then next thing I noticed was that to my left there, I think there were more zombies that ended up showing up. Yep, there comes another one that's popping up, and I'm like, all right, it's time to haul ass. I mean, things aren't going the way that I want them to. And this is pretty funny here. I'm like, all right, I'll just screw around, and we'll back up over these bastards. And this one jumps on, and yeah, lo and behold, I think, all right, I'm going to stop here, maybe... I'm thinking I'm going to try to equip a weapon, but he drags my ass out of the vehicle, throws me on the ground, and then starts chewing on my face. And I'm like, all right, enough of this. I got another 3 of them over here. We're leaving. Yeah, I mean, the game's fun like that. Just so random. Oh, you can see the smoke coming off the engine. I think you get a better feel for that in this game. And I don't know, there's something with the grass. The grass just really tends to stand out for me, and then the texture, the ground textures tend to stand out. I wasn't playing this on a 4K TV. This was played on a 32-inch 1080p TV, so something you would typically see that's standard in a lot of households. So, yeah, other than that, I mean, like I said, I really enjoyed the game. I thought visually the launch Xbox did a fairly decent job holding up. I love how you can see the mud textures on the side of the vehicles here. And look at the hood. Looked like it was kind of beat up a little bit, or there was some blood on it. But overall, the Xbox, the launch Xbox, held up fairly well. It was just a matter of I felt the X actually added a little bit more sense of depth and color and texture to the game. Even though it almost flipped right there, which was kind of funny. But yeah, even though it's kind of subtle, I still feel like it adds so much more to the game. It provides that much more sense of immersion for myself. So hopefully you guys have found this video pretty cool. Just something I wanted to do, and comparing both systems, running the same hardware, just to see if I could visually and tell a difference between the two. And I think I did. I feel like I did for the most part. I mean, if I had my choice between playing on the Xbox One X versus the regular Xbox, I'd definitely play on the X. Just it has so much going on for it. Yeah, let me know what you think. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you have different thoughts, if you saw something that I didn't see, like field of view that was more prevalent, let me know. Let me know if you thought or you think the Xbox One X is just a sheer waste of money. I'd be curious if you just leave those comments in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you dislike the video, you can certainly hit that thumbs down. And until next time, you guys, peace out.